Today I'm talking about imperative programs and threads. To understand the imperative program, let's get a comparison out there. In declarative programming, you describe the results what you want, but not how to get there. For example, if I would like to print out every fourth element in a row, I would write this demand into my program, and the programming environment will find the most suitable way to solve it. In imperative programming, the programmist gives the computer little orders to do one by one. For example, if I want to print out every fourth element in a row, first I need to point to the first element in a row, count 3 elements up, print out the solution, and create a loop around it, which will end when the last element is being read in. A C program specifies a sequence of steps where each step changes the state of the memory in the machine. In C, the state of the memory in the machine is represented by the values of variables. Imperative program is a program which is executed order by order, and using C language is a good example of this kind of program. To get an idea of threads, we need to make sure we know the difference between processes and threads. A process has multiple threads. By creating virtual memory, process has illusion that it has all of the memory on the machine. It doesn't share it. Segmentation faults make sure that processes are not able to access other process memory, even if it would happen by this way. Threads are imperative programs that run concurrently and share a memory space. They can access each other's variables. Threads are more primitive sequence of instructions. Multiple threads can share memory. In this case, we don't occur segmentation faults, which means we don't have any memory protection. How threads are executed? As we can see, we have 3 threads, and each one of them has a priority. For example, if thread 1 has a priority higher than other 2, it gets more time slice from the scheduler. Scheduler forwards it to the CPU, which executes the threads. If the priorities are changed to equal, every thread gets the same amount of the computing time. And since these swaps between threads happen real often, like once in a millisecond, the user has a feeling that everything is running simultaneously, but actually multiple threads are executed by pieces. As the number of mutex locks increase in programs, the risk of deadlock increases. A deadlock occurs when some threads become permanently blocked trying to acquire locks. Such deadly embraces have no clean escape. The program needs to be aborted if this happens. As we can see, deadlock model looks like an impact of interest. Thread 1 is holding the object 1, and for the next step wants to get object 2 in his hand, but the thread 2 wants the same things vice versa, and so that's how we have a deadlock situation over here. As I said before, if we get into the deadlock situation, we can't get out from there. So the best thing what we can do is to prevent this situation. And the easiest way to do this is to acquire locks in the same order, and then it's a very small probability that we can get a deadlock. In conclusion, I would like to say that humans are reasonable using concurrency, but in threads it's not the same as it's in physical world. Threads in computing are messy, and writing a correct multi-threaded program is very hard. That's why engineers don't use multi-threading in safety-critical systems. And if you wish to get some more information about threads and the problems with them, you could visit the additional source. And I guess it's about it. Thanks for watching.